Good day, everyone. Today we will be having our new lesson in science, technology, and society. But before anything else, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Glyza Dimakula, a basic mathematics student, and our topic is all about the information age, the Gutenberg to social media. So we will be discuss how this information spread with the use of technology. First, we have our lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to first familiarize themselves with the pre-Gutenberg world, the Gutenberg Revolution, and the post-Gutenberg world, link learned concepts to the development, and illustrate how social media and information age affected our society. So I hope we will meet these objectives at the end of the lesson. Next. Johannes Gutenberg, born February 3, 1468, he is a German blacksmith hand publisher who was responsible for shaping the nature of the society by establishing the first form of spreading information. So he is an inventor who revolutionized society with the invention of the movable type printing press in the mid 15th century. So his innovation made a possible mass production of books and written materials that makes knowledge more accessible to wider population. So he was responsible for shaping the nature of the society because of the spreading of information. So this is called as the Gutenberg principle, where the distribution of information become possible but expensive and yet institutionalized. Because this refers to the shift in how information is distributed and consumed, originating with the invention of the printing press, as what I have said by Mr. Johannes Gutenberg. Gutenberg principle has a great impact to shape our world at the present time, most likely characterized as the post-Gutenberg era or the world of what is currently called social media, identifying both ways in which organization will feel its impact and also the ways in which organization will have to adapt in order to survive where power will not lie in the institutionalized capability to control access to information. So the Gutenberg principle has a great impact because of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg. This technology shifted the society by making mass communication and information sharing in the society. So this the organization will feel its impact. So it will have a changes because of the printing press, and because of printing press it will also the society will also adapt this in order to survive or in order to have a voice on their to uh, to express themselves, to share their thoughts in the society. No. Next, the pre-Gutenberg world. The pre-Gutenberg world, they were transcribed through clay, pap- papyrus, wax, and parchment. Besides, government choose only to whom will be given the education to read. They were they were scared that the influence of mass communication will be hindrance in their ruling. The transmission of information relied only through word of mouth channels. In 1440, the first printing press was built through Johannes Gutenberg, which heralded the start of mass communication. Next, the Gutenberg Revolution. So the printing press was an important step towards the democratization of knowledge by Eisenstein 1969. So, does anyone have an idea here? May I call on Mr. Nico Camoro to share lang. So the printing press transformed the knowledge from privilege to a public resource, laying foundation for the modern democratic society. So this is um, It broke the monopoly on knowledge held by the elite and empowered the ordinary people to learn, question, and participate in society. So the printing press was an important step no lang pa ni Eisenstein. So in Gutenberg Revolution, it is a term used to express the democratizing effects on the invention of the printing press among society. The invention of the printing press allowed the worldwide changes to take place. Democracy was born through the invention of the printing press and effects it had on society. So this refers to the transformative impact of the printing press in making knowledge accessible to wider audience. By enabling this mass production, by enabling this mass production of books, it broke the monopoly, as what I have said earlier, it broke the monopoly of the elite on information and education. So from pre-Gutenberg to Gutenberg Revolution, the shift of this empowered the people to read, think, think independently, and engage in societal and political discourse. As a result, no, so the printing press played a key role in laying foundation for modern democracy. So in Gutenberg Revolution, the printing press was very important to help the ordinary people to express themselves, to have a unsa, to express themselves, um and to participate in society. Next, the post-Gutenberg world. In 1920, the radio broadcasting was introduced. It marked a significant jump in the speed of communication. It made the spreading of information even more quickly and widely. However, in 1970s, the information age accelerated global communication. It started when the microprocessor began and took it as the introduction of the internet browser, which made the information age significant up to this day. So the post-Gutenberg world, when it began with the introduction of the radio broadcasting in 1920s, which significantly increased the speed and reach of communication. So this advancement allows information to spread quickly and widely across the wide audiences. So in 1970s now, the rise of information age, it further accelerated in the global communication with the invention of the microprocessor. So in this era, it is the development of the internet and the web browsers that is very significant nowadays. Next, according to Stacy 2008, the development of internet in our world changed two major expansion. First, uploading and downloading of different forms of media such as image, videos, and audios were now possible through internet access. So yeah, with the use of internet, we can now upload or download videos, images, or audios like diba sa TikTok, we can download videos. Yeah, that is possible because of internet access. Second, the spreading and publishing of information were now much easy because of different tools. So even without television, we can spread or publish information through internet. So with the use of different tools like websites, yeah, we can now publish information. Next, the information age. Man has always the need for communication and continuous exchange of information. This need of this need is motivated by man's need of belongingness to a society, giving and receiving instruction and precautions, giving comfort and encouragement, and improving everyday ways and means. But it is not easy to do this, especially in the early times, because of distance, time, and location. That communication and exchange of information can take long time because it gets to the receiving end. So throughout history, people have always need to communicate and share information to others to be connected. And in the past, communication was hard because of the things like distance, time that it makes longer to receive the messages. So to solve these issues, information age was very important to to make our communication easier and more quickly than before. Yeah. So why is it called information age? So no, because it marks a period in history that when the production, sharing, consumption of information was a central focus of the society. So because of internet and the advancement of technology, people could access a wide amount of knowledge, communication, and share ideas across borders, changing how we live and work. So that's why it called information age. Like up to this day, we really more rely on the internet. Like now, information age. So with the advancement of technology, sa cellphone na lang manguyab, sa dili na mabuhi o walay cellphone, di mabuhi kung walay internet. That's why nagtawag ni siya na this era is the information age. Next, there are three distinct historical periods of this revolution of information age. First, modern information revolution began in the mid 19th century that includes telegraph, telephone, and radio. These three inventions have greatly helped in improving the people's lives, businesses, government, military, and the foreign policy establishment were able to communicate easier. Like for example, in telegraph, it allowed messages to be sent across long distances. And for um, telephone, which made for personal or business communication to be more accessible. And for radio, allowing governments and businesses to reach a larger audience quickly. So these are the first modern information revolution. These three information now it helps to improve the people's lives. Second is the second modern information revolution, followed by the first one and extended until the mid 20th century, that includes television, early generation computers, and satellites. And satellite. So the second modern information nadugangan lang sa first modern information, which is the television, early generation computers, and the satellite. In the third modern in the third modern information revolution began in the 1980s and has surpassed the two other revolutions. This age, which includes our time, is now called is the knowledge revolution. This includes the advancement of information technologies and has a remarkable impact in the politics, economics, sociology, and culture of knowledge creation and distribution. So in third modern information revolution is now called is the knowledge revolution because it is because of the advancement of technologies like internet, smartphones, artificial intelligence that have changed how people create, share, and transform and use knowledge. Like for example, in online platforms like I mean like Facebook, Google, it really have a big impact to the people in the society. Next, social media and its impact to the society. According to Brown 2018, among among the 3 billion people around the world, 40% uses online social media. Social media users spend an average of 2 hours every day tweeting and liking posts in different platforms. Social media has become a form of virtual reality and a form of escape from the tyranny of life. Geographical distance is no longer a hindrance in communicating with other people around the globe. Ideas become more fluid, making censorship next to impossible. According to Brown 2018, social media has become a virtual space where people can skip the pressures of real life and connect with others. It has removed the barriers of geographical distance, allowing people to communicate instantly across the globe. So, bisag to awa ka sa laing planeta, to ka sa laing bansa is makakommunicate kagapon because of social media and the internet. Because of information spreads so quickly and freely, controlling or censoring ideas has become very difficult. Yes. Next, according to Merriam-Webster 2016, social media is defined as a form of electronic communication wherein the users share information, ideas, and even videos by creating online communities. It is an internet-based medium intended for sharing information. Social media is not only a communication tool, but it also serves as an avenue for collaboration and reviewing of information and opinion. In commerce, social media is also serve as a brand monitoring tool that help boost their sales. So according to Merriam-Webster, social media is a type of online communication where users share information, ideas, and videos by forming online communities. No, it allowed people to talk not only to talk and connect, but also to work together and exchange opinions, like to boost their sales. Like many many businessmen are promoting their products through social media. So that is according to Merriam Webster. Next, Mark Kinsani, Mark Schiffer, 2011, an author, blogger, and social media marketing consultant, cited a summary in his blog how the world has changed because of social media. So first, the social media made the society less individualistic and traditional groups more reinforced. So, social media has made the society less individualistic by encouraging people to connect, share, and support each other in online communities. Like the traditional groups, like the family, cultural communities, or religious groups have become more active and connected through social media, like um, Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok. Next is education. Next is in education, including informal learning, social media serve as an important catalyst. So as we all know, in education, even in informal learning, it is very an it is very an important way for us to easily get information. Like for example, if there are announcement or um, virtual learning, so social media is an important catalyst. Selfies shared in social media send different messages worldwide. So, for example, a graduation selfie that may symbolize a achievement and pride, while a selfie at a protest might express political belief or social support. So, no, selfies it has a different messages across different places. So in the world of social media, online equality is different from online from I. So next is in the world of social media, online equality is different from offline equality. Yan naman. So online equality means everyone can create and share content regardless of their background, giving all users a voice. However, in offline equality, it it is still depends on the real world factors like wealth, education, or social status, which affects the access to technology and digital skills. Understood? Next, not the company, but the people who uses social media defines its functionality. So, let's have an example like TikTok, originally meant for fun videos, is now also used for education, business promotion, and even political messages, all defined by how users choose to engage with it. Kung magdepende na siya kung diyan sa niya napaghimo, no? Next is the public social media can be viewed as traditionalist or conservative. So public social media can sometimes reflect a traditional or conservative views because of often bring their cultural, religious, or moral beliefs into what they post and share. So many people use this Facebook to promote family values, religious practices, or the national pride, especially during holidays or cultural events. Yeah. Next is posted photos and use of emojis in social media has shifted human communication. So the use of photos and emojis on social media has changed because of how people communicate by adding emotion and visual context to message. So bisag sa nowadays, bisag grabe ka ka-excited, bisag grabe ka kamalipayon, ang imong emoji is naghilak. 'Di ba? It depends na sa tao kung it depends na sa user kung ano niya pag ano yung gamiton. Next is the world became less homogeneous because of social media. Social media has made the world less homogeneous by exposing people to different cultures, beliefs, and lifestyles from around the globe. For example, someone in the Philippines can watch K-pop, follow American fashion trends, or learn about African traditions all in one day through platforms like YouTube or TikTok. So this constant exchange of diverse content encourages people to explore and appreciate differences rather than just follow what is common with their own culture. So dapat so because of social media, no, it became less homogeneous. So because of social media, it is more on inclusivity because of many users very ano pa yun? Promoting in diverse people. Next, mga unsa mi guys. Next, personal commerce has been greatly promoted with the help of social media. So, many people, because of social media, it made easier for individuals to promote and sell their products directly to the customers to boost their personal commerce. For example, the Facebook Marketplace or the TikTok live selling. So, people affiliate their handmade crafts, their clothing or foods to allow their business to reach a wider audience without needing a physical store. Next is group communication arise because of social media. So this is what we call GC. No, nabisan tuloy mo kabuok na inyong GC. So because of GC, it serve to communicate others, in order, like for example, for students to collaborate on school projects, 'di ba? Or in family, to communicate, family members on the other side of the planet. Yeah. Next is the social media. For some, serve as their homes. So, for some people, social media has become their online home where they feel safe, heard, and connected. It is a place where they can express themselves, share their thoughts, and interact with others who share similar interests. So, mo na siya ginaturing nila nga safe safe place or home nila ang social media. Next is gender relation. Next is gender relation has been profoundly affected by social media. So, social media has supported the rise of LGBTQ plus communities where individuals can share their stories, educate others, and find support. So, in platforms like Instagram, TikTok, it become a spaces where users challenges the traditional gender norms and promote the acceptance through content like personal vlogs, awareness campaigns, and pride celebration. Yeah, it's true. Next is human conversation and relationships are now polymedia. So why is that? So human conversation and relationships are now polymedia, meaning people use many forms of media to communicate depending on the situation, purpose, or emotion. For example, someone might text to share quick updates or video call to for emotional support, and post photos on Instagram to share life's moment with friends. So it is very me, very us. Yeah. Next is memes in social media serve as a moral police that has set the standards of normal behavior among the general public. So, memes on social media often act as a form of moral police by highlighting and mocking behaviors that are seen as unacceptable or inappropriate. So, familiar ni siya, na siya sa inyo ha. For example, memes calling out a toxic relationship, bad customer service, or influence hypocrisy can shape public opinion and set standards for what is considered normal or acceptable. No? So, humor and relatability, memes influence how people think and act, encouraging social awareness and accountability. Yeah, mga familiar yun siya kay bagan kita tanan forum memes. The last but not the least, social media is a privacy threat but not for non-users. So social media can be a privacy threat even for people who don't actively use it. Why? Because their information can still be shared by others. Like for example, when someone's personal contract information or private messages are shared in a group chat or public post without their consent. So for instance, without their consent, that no, dili siya, mali siya. So last and not huh? Last but not the least, social media is a privacy threat but not for non-users. So social media can be a privacy threat for people who don't actively use it. Why? Because their information can still be shared by others. Like for example, when someone's personal contract information or private messages are shared in a group chats or public post without their consent. So even wala kay personal account, and your personal contact information shared by others was shared by someone to others, it could still a privacy threat for you. Okay, no, i- in social media it really has a advantage and disadvantages. So bisag wa ka nagamit, madamay gyud ka. So, in general, social media and the advancement of information technology have changed the way people live, communicate, work, and even think. It has brought many advantages, such as faster communication, easier access to information, and more opportunities for learning and businesses. However, it also comes with disadvantages like what I have said, the privacy risk and for misinformation and the pressure to always be online. As these technologies continue to grow, society must learn how to use them wisely, staying in control instead of being controlled. So a we need to find a healthy balance between enjoying the benefits of digital life while still protecting our time, mental health, and real world relationships. So I hope throughout the discussions you have learned something from me. And this ends my topic. Thank you.